Haley has been competing, of course, against Ron DeSantis. Governor Sununu joins me now from New York City. Governor, great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.
Well, Governor, there's a Monmouth University poll, there's a Washington Post poll showing Haley in second place in New Hampshire, but she's still nearly 30 points behind Donald Trump. So, excuse me, does your endorsement put you out of step with most of the Republican voters in your state?
Oh, no. Look, I mean, most folks in New Hampshire still won't make up their mind for the next few weeks. So we have about 6 weeks to go here. Her numbers are surging long before I even got on board because she's connecting with folks. And, you know, unlike probably more than almost anybody else in the country, I've spent time with Chris Christie and Ron DeSantis and Nikki. These are great friends of mine. They're good candidates. But at the end of the day, when you kind of combined her resume as an incredibly successful governor, really turning around South Carolina, you know, as an accountant and understanding, you know, fiscal discipline and bringing in jobs and lowering unemployment. You add what you just mentioned as the former UN ambassador. International issues are front and center, and there is no one in this race that understands those issues like Nikki Haley. But for New Hampshire voters, most importantly, you got to connect. You got to just be genuine. You got to just be yourself. And she does that. She doesn't just tell you what she's about. She wants to hear what your questions are. And I think by doing that, spending time on the ground with our voters, she's earning their trust. And trust is a very rare thing in Washington nowadays. People are liking it. They're you know, she's got that charisma more than pretty much any other candidate out there. And that connection is why you're seeing her numbers jump. And, you know, my endorsement doesn't mean a whole lot unless we put something behind it. So we're going to help her with the ground game. We're going to help reach out to some of those grass tops folks that can really organize at the local level, knowing that there's a lot of votes out there still to be had.
And now, while you're backing Nikki Haley in Iowa, of course, the first contest, in the caucuses, Governor Kim Reynolds, also popular as you are in your state, is backing Ron DeSantis. So does that anti-Trump effort get split by
well, look, yeah,
the two states?
Yes. So the good news is it's not being split by 12 candidates anymore. It's being split by 3 or 4 tops, you know, really 3 right now. And it'll keep narrowing down. I think the Republican Party's done a great job narrowing it down. And the psychology of that choice, right, when there's 12 candidates, a lot of people don't even pay attention. Oh, now there's 3 or 4. Numbers are moving in Iowa. Numbers are moving in New Hampshire really aggressively for Nikki, knowing that South Carolina comes after this. Well, now we got an opportunity here to say, hey, you know, Nikki and I were both with the former president in 16 and in 20. We had a great working relationship. But, you know, Republicans want to go forward with the next generation of conservative leadership. We always want to be looking forward to the next opportunity to actually get stuff done, not just looking in the rearview mirror, worrying about Trump litigating things, right or wrong, whether you agree with that or not. The guy just has chaos and distraction that follow him. He's not going to be able to get the stuff done that we need done, fixed in this country. Nikki comes in with an open slate, incredible experience, and that connection, right? Not divisiveness. I think the latest poll has Trump, you know, within the margin of error of Joe Biden, which is very interesting. Nikki Haley's up 17 points. 17 points on Joe Biden. So if you want not just to win the presidency, but the congressional seats, the governorships, the school board seats, right? Just really have a top of the ticket that folks can get proud of and excited about and really win everything else behind it. That's where Nikki Haley has an incredible opportunity to galvanize the party and bring some real optimism, some energy to the rest of this country.
Now, there's another anti-Trump candidate in the New Hampshire primary, and that's Chris Christie. He's betting it all on New Hampshire. And he's calling out both Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis for attacking each other and not really focusing their attacks against Donald Trump. Isn't he right?
Well, look, Chris has his own style. Chris is a great friend, great candidate. He has his own style, really going nuclear, if you will, on Donald Trump. I don't think you can just demand that everybody does that. Everyone's gonna you know, have their message. I think Nikki does a great job talking about what she brings to the table, not just what she isn't, not just about what the other candidates don't, you know, the problems that they're going to have. She calls Trump out for what it is. She says it, you know, that she believes he was the right president at the right time, but we got to move forward, and we got to move forward without distractions. And I think a lot of folks who haven't really paid attention to this race are saying, yeah, that's the right message. Yeah, these numbers are moving. We can do this. And if in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley can win this thing, it's a real reset button on the whole election. The national media has never talked about the opportunity to beat Trump or a one-on-one race. No one's believed it. But now the numbers show it really can happen. And that would create an incredible opportunity where it's really a one-on-one race. Trump finally has to engage in debates. He finally has to, you know, engage on the issues. Right now, like, he'll fly into New Hampshire, he'll do a rally, he kind of flies in, flies out, no questions, no answers, doesn't talk, doesn't have the energy, doesn't talk like he did in 2016. He's a completely different candidate, for the worse, frankly. So he's gotten away with staying out of the limelight, but if he has to take someone on one-on-one, he's in trouble. And I think everybody sees the opportunity. Political momentum, as you know, Andrea, political momentum is a very real thing. People want to get behind that. And when they see a big win for Nikki Haley in New Hampshire, I think all bets are off and everything's on the table to get, again, that conservative leadership of the next generation leading this country forward.
Now, there is the case, the terrible case of a pregnant woman in Texas. She had to go out of state because of the highly restrictive abortion ban. The exception just didn't work. Doctors couldn't get permission to do anything. They were threatened, in fact, with prosecution if they helped her, despite the baby's fatal genetic condition and the health complications for her. When asked about this, Nikki Haley said, "We have to humanize the situation and treat it with compassion." She stopped short of calling for the Texas law to be amended. Why do you think?
Well, look, it's a state's decision, right? So a president is not going to get 60 votes to massively move an abortion issue nationally one way or the other. That's just not going to happen. So understanding that the court said this is in states' hands, I believe in that. I think she believes in that. The voters are going to decide. Where the Texas law is today may change. Where any state's law is today may change. And you know who has the say? Not judges in Washington, not even the president. The voters. The voters can talk to their legislatures, can talk to their governor, can actually have a say in where they want that to follow. So that's where I'm pro-choice. She's pro-life, but we both agree that that is the absolute path. She's unapologetically pro-life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But she also understands the voters in the states are going to have to decide. So I think most folks would agree that that situation in Texas was terrible. I think Nikki would agree with that. And it's likely that the voters of Texas are going to call on their legislature to go back and rethink their law. But that's really up to them.